This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, keeping you informed about the happenings in Annapolis and the area. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and of course, local weather. The Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Thursday, August 6th, 2020. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. The Anne Arundel County Police are investigating a shooting in Millersville on Tuesday evening, which sent one man to the hospital with multiple gunshot wounds and injured a child who was struck by debris. At about 7:10 p.m., officers were called to the 500 block of Old Mill Road for a reported shooting. The male victim said he was in front of his residence when he was shot by an unknown suspect. The suspect fired several gunshots, striking the victim multiple times. He was transported to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, so that's good. However, while police were investigating, a neighbor came out and said that she was inside her residence with a small child in a chair, and the child was struck by what is believed to be debris. The child was not injured. He did not require any medical attention. The suspect is only described as a black male with a thin build wearing light-colored clothing, and detectives are asking anybody that may have any information to contact them at 410-222-6145. Listen up, this one is important. The Anne Arundel County Department of Health has issued an advisory for all beaches and waterways in Anne Arundel County in the aftermath of the tropical storm. There is a no swimming / no direct contact advisory, which does include kayaking, paddleboarding, and jet skiing for all county beaches and waterways for the next 48 hours. They put that release out yesterday afternoon, so that brings you to about Friday evening. Also, there are 4 creeks that had sewage overflows during the storm, and there's an advisory out for them for no contact for 7 days. Yuck. These are Back Creek in Annapolis, Lake Ogleton in Annapolis, Black Walnut Creek in Annapolis, and Oyster Creek in Annapolis. The Department of Health says that if you do come in contact with any water, to wash it well with soap and warm water immediately, and clothing should also be washed. This is sort of a silly announcement, but I guess it needs to be said. But Crofton High School, Corcoran Middle School, and Edgewater, George Cromwell, Richard Henry Lee, and Tyler Heights Elementary Schools were all slated to begin school on September 9th, which was one day late because it was going to accommodate some construction moves. However, since we are going to virtual learning, all schools will be starting on time on September 8th. So if you were going to any of those schools and you were hoping to start on the 9th, it ain't happening. School begins on September 8th. From your living room. For the second time in 142 years, the Maryland State Fair has been canceled. They are still going to be holding livestock shows, though the events will not be open to the public. The only other time that the fair was scrapped was during World War II, when the fairgrounds were used by the U.S. Army. This year, they are being used as a COVID testing site. They do have dates for next year's fair. It is August 26th through September 6th up at the Maryland State Fairgrounds in Timonium. What is not canceled and what is happening is the Annapolis Maritime Museum and Park is ready to bring the historic skipjack Wilma Lee out for its public debut. Starting on August 8th, they are going to have public sailings of the Wilma Lee. Now, this is a great boat. The Wilma Lee is only 47 foot on the deck, 16 feet at the beam, and almost 75 feet overall, including the bowsprit and the davit. She was built in 1940 right here on the bay, and you can find out more information and get tickets at amaritime.org/Wilma Lee. They are going to be offering heritage cruises on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 3 to 5 p.m. Sunset cruises Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 6:15 to 8:15. They're going to have a Wednesday night race watch party. That's obviously Wednesday night from 5:30 to 7:30. And don't forget, it is available now for private charters as well as education cruises. You can find out all the information about that and everything the Maritime Museum does at amaritime.org. All right, real quick, let's talk about Navy football news, and I've got to be honest here, it is darned confusing. Yesterday, the NCAA canceled all championships, so the season ends at the conference level. Gone are the bowl games, gone is the Rose Bowl, you name it, it ain't happening late in the season. Now, Navy is in the AAC, and they have decided that they are going to allow their teams to play 8 conference opponents beginning on September 19th, and any non-conference opponents are allowed if the schools do agree. Now, the conference championship might be December 12th, which happens to be when Army-Navy is scheduled in Philadelphia. Now, Navy does have 8 conference games scheduled. They do have 3 that are non-conference games, which include Air Force, Army, and Notre Dame. Now, as far as Notre Dame goes, Notre Dame was admitted into the ACC for 1 year only because they are independent, and technically they cannot play Annapolis and Annapolis as planned. ACC rules state that it must be in conference play, and any non-conference schools must be located within one of the states of the conference schools. Navy and Maryland doesn't cut that, so they would need a special exemption from the ACC to do that. However, I don't know whether they can play it on Labor Day weekend because the ACC now says you can't start football until the 19th. Are you following along here? And of course, we need to remember that the season or an individual game can be canceled by one of about a dozen different entities or people, from the schools to the leagues to the government. So who knows what football looks like? We'll try to keep up with it. And remember, if it does happen, fans are definitely not a guarantee. All right, I've got something for you to do every night at 7 p.m. from now until the 16th. AMFM is putting out an SOS. It's called Songs of Summer, and SOS is also that Save Our Ship thing, and they're looking for donations. They coughed up $111,500 in COVID-related claims to nearly 75 musicians and more than 1,200 lost gigs. Now, AMFM does provide temporary relief to our local musicians who typically work without insurance and without any kind of a parachute to catch them. So what they are doing is that local musicians will release one short song video, and that's going to be shared on the AMFM Facebook page. Go there, check it out, give them all likes and everything else, and donate. Now, your donation is obviously tax-free, but this is pretty cool. For every $1 that you donate, you will be entered into a raffle to win a PRS Guitar. It is a SE245 electric guitar signed by founder Paul Reed Smith, and it does include 2 free guitar lessons provided by Annapolis guitarist Brian Ewald. Give $100, get 100 chances to win. It's a beautiful guitar. Find out more information at the AMFM Facebook page, and that's where you can make donations, or you can go to their website, which is am-fm.org, to make a donation. And these guys are a great organization. They've done some great work for the local musicians. And man, to be able to give out $111,000 in aid while musicians get their rugs pulled out from under them is certainly admirable. All right, it is Thursday. We do have Trevor standing by with your Annapolis Makerspace Maker Minutes. We also have George Young with your local DMV weather forecast. And you got to remember to make sure you give us a rating or a review if you're someplace that you can do that, and let your friends and family and colleagues know about us. You want to check out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day, because we are going to be updating that throughout the day with these stories and more. And now let's get on with the rest of the show right after this brief message from Solar Energy Services.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
Going out? You need the most up-to-date local weather. Here's George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis with today's forecast.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Thursday, August 6th. Yesterday was a very nice weather day for the Annapolis region after Wednesday's harsh conditions from Isaias, which really proved to be an intense and disastrous storm from the southeastern U.S. all the way into the northeastern states, with multiple deaths, over 3 million people without power, and tons of damage to property, roadways, and more. And while today won't be nearly as harsh weather-wise, we will see a return to clouds and rain as showers and storms will move back into the region due to a frontal boundary moving in overhead. And that frontal boundary between different air masses will keep skies unsettled through most of Friday, if not into early Saturday, before it moves out of the area and skies clear Saturday. Look for highs each day, today through Saturday, to be in the 80s before tons of sunshine, and highs again upper 80s to lower 90s on Sunday, with the early outlook for next week being upper 80s to mid 90s with a daily chance of PM showers and storms as we move into the middle of August. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DMV Weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching DC MDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores. And also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and use our website each day at dmvweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
When it comes to diamonds, there are two things that matter: reputation and value. At Zachary's, you know our reputation. We pride ourselves on providing the best experience for every customer every day, because we wouldn't be here without you. But what you might not know is that Zachary's is the only diamond importer in Annapolis. We cut a check for $500,000 and deal directly with the De Beers site holder to bring you the best quality diamonds. That's just one step away from a mine. So by the time a diamond gets to your hands, only 2 people have touched it, not 6. I'm Steve Samaras, and at Zachary's, we've spent decades cultivating relationships around the world to ensure we can offer the best value on a diamond. But the relationships we value most are the ones we create with our customers right here in town.
Zachary's, online at zacharysjewelers.com. If it's a diamond, we're a good place to start.
Every week, makers, crafters, and educators hold events all over the area. Highlighting some of those, here's our Makers Minute, brought to you by Annapolis Makerspace.
Hey, this is Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace with this week's Maker Minutes. On Saturday at Wildberry Farms out near Waugh Chapel, they're having their monthly Wildberry Vendor Market. On the second Saturday of every month, they host local vendors, makers, and small business owners at the farm. On Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, it'll be the peak of the Perseids meteor shower, so get out after dark and look at the skies. Blended Essentials in Severna Park has another summer camp next week, making candles, soaps, bath bombs, lotions, and more. Next week's theme is Backyard Fun. Wine and Design in Annapolis has more take-home kits. This week, check out Sea Oats and Hatteras, Moonlit Beach Date, Allure, and Riverwalk. The Kid Museum in Bethesda has more online virtual workshops. Check out their DIY workshops this week, featuring kid robotics, with lessons like What is a Robot?, Making Analog Robot Models, Program Your Grown-Up, Wigglebots, Robotic Arms, an Intro to Microbit, an inexpensive microcontroller that's fun to program. Also check out their summer camps, streaming right to your home, including Kid Engineers for 2nd through 4th graders, and Wacky Inventions for 5th through 7th graders next week. The Annapolis Streaming Facebook group is now the Annapolis Music Facebook group, with lots of in-person live music to check out, but also more streaming. This week, there's more Live Arts Maryland's Quarantini concert tonight. Tomorrow, check out Dave Teef of Laughing Colors, performing the full album Depth and What's So Funny on Facebook Live. Saturday, check out Mad Planet as they perform live, as well as streaming on Facebook from the Elks Lodge 2266 in Severn. Saturday, Monday, and Wednesdays, Spencer Joyce has his 3 times a week live streams. Also, check out Spencer Joyce tonight in person at Cult Classic Brewing in Stevensville. And find more non-streaming live music at the Annapolis Music Facebook group. At Art Farm in Annapolis, the summer art camps are in session, with Mixed Media Sculpture Art Camp finishing up, and another Fearless Girls Photo Camp, this time for advanced and returning campers, starting the week after next, with a graphic design camp following that. Also be sure to check out their virtual online classes, with virtual botanical drawing for beginners in full swing, a virtual beginner macrame class is starting next week, and the week after next is virtual first exposure, digital photography class. Also be sure to check out Art Farm's virtual art gallery, where all art is for sale, including art from Annapolis and local artists. Maryland Hall summer camps for kids are in full swing. Next week, check out Digital Drawing Studio Pet Portraits, creating artworks in mixed media, Playworks for teens, Pottery Wheel for teens, self-expression in drawing, painting, and collage. Also, their 2nd annual music school for aspiring musicians. At the Benjamin Banneker Museum and Park in Ellicott City, on Saturday, they have Nature's Medicine Cabinet. Learn about colonial medicines that were grown in gardens or gathered from local fields and forests. Many modern medicines started as folk remedies like were used back then. And then on Sunday, check out Summer on the Farm. Rain or shine, Summer on the Farm was a busy season, and work must go on. Crops needed tending, and food needed to be grown. Tour the Banneker Farmstead and learn what was necessary for running it. At the Anne Arundel County Public Library system this week, they have more Facebook Live story times for kids. Today, there's also a teen focus group. This is an opportunity for teens to share their voices with the library staff. Ask and answer questions about your interests, how things are going in this new virtual world, connect with others, discuss library virtual programs that you've tried, and what you'd be interested in seeing. Tomorrow, there's 123 Andreas, Bilingual Family Beats, the Latin Grammy-winning duo of Christina and Andreas, bring you bilingual tunes and irresistible beats to get your family up, moving, and laughing. Tomorrow, there's another great movies discussion, this time The Old Dark House, a film from 1932, where Frankenstein director James Whale creates narrates a nerve-jangling tale that became the template for all spooky house chillers to come, starring Boris Karloff in an unforgettable role as the hulking, disfigured butler Morgan. It can all be watched through libraries' access to Canopy with a K. On Monday, check out Talking to Children About Race. Part 2 in the series, a panel of diverse parents will discuss concerns families may have when talking to their children about race, sharing honestly about fears, challenges, and successes in their own conversations. Part 1 is available on YouTube. On Tuesday, check out Dragons, Return of the Ice Sorceress, a fun fantasy adventure featuring awesome dry ice effects. And then on Wednesday, check out Ready Set Kindergarten with the Eastport Annapolis Neck Library. 4 family story times will use stories, songs, and games to help children, parents, and caregivers prepare for kindergarten in fall 2020. And also on Wednesday, check out another Intro to the Library's ebooks and streaming, with plenty of things to keep you occupied and entertained. You can find links to all these events at the Annapolis Makerspace website at makeannapolis.org. And whether you're making art, software, sawdust, or just a mess, chances are you're already a maker. This has been Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace with this week's Maker Minute.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., keeping you informed with the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. And take a moment to listen to our other podcast, The Maryland Crabs, released every Thursday at noon.